So I had a customer who purchased a Gen 2 Busa plug-and-play harness from RSR, and they were a little bit nervous about tackling the inputs and the outputs on the two 12-pin Deutsch connectors that are provided. So I did a couple of things. I wired in a few things for him. Wired in an oil pressure sensor, wired in the negative side of the horn for air shift, and then wired in the gear position sensor. And then in addition to that, for the rest of the analog sensors, I have everything labeled and stuff here, but I also broke out 5-volt and sensor ground. On the 12-pin, you get each one of those one time on one pin. So I bring that out and then splice it out. And then so every single connection that you see here, analog input 6, 7, etc. Those all have 5-volt sensor ground and then the actual signal wire. This one only has 2 wires because this is analog input 1, which 1 and 2 are temperature inputs. So you put the signal on one side with a 5-volt pull-up resistor and then sensor ground on the other. And it gets mating connectors to go with those. And then, so just plug and play to the gear position sensor here. And then for the outputs, he wanted a shift light, which you see wired there. And they also wanted to do air shift solenoid. So by using an input for shift and then an output for shift, we'll be able to do auto shift as well. And then any type of like solenoid delays and stuff like that if you wanted to. So then in addition to that, I broke out all of the remaining other outputs. So GPO 12 and 11, both of those are 12-volt outputs. So then I've got a ground paired up with them. And then there's the ignition 5 and 6, or 5 right here, wherever the heck it just went. That's just a single wire. It's a 5-volt signal coming out that you could use to turn on one of the solid state drivers for like a nitrous solenoid or something like that. And then the other GPO, I think 2, 3, and 5, and injector 5 and 6 are all ground output. So on those, I give you a 12-volt here as well. So as you can see, for shift light and for air switch, both of those guys are just plugging right in to GPO 2 and 3. So essentially making the plug and play setup a little bit more plug and play for them to add in their extra stuff.